Hello again everyone, and welcome back to another one of my ever so fun decluttering videos. Today we are going to be working on the linen closet in my bedroom and also on the bathroom cabinet, obviously in the bathroom. Both of these areas are particular problems for me when it comes to clutter. I am at a point in my life where I am done with having too much stuff floating around the house, and it's making me really stressed out, really anxious all the time, and I'm ready to be done with it. So I'm gradually going through my house and decluttering the hot zones, I will call them, of the house. So I've already tackled the kitchen, and now it's time to tackle this cupboard. I am tired of every time I open this cupboard something falling out. I'm tired of not being able to find anything in this cupboard. And also I discovered when I was doing this cupboard, I don't know half of the stuff that was in here. And that's ridiculous. I sat down the other night with my notebook and my pen, and I just started to plan out how and where I wanted everything in the house. Obviously we have a problem at the moment with having too much stuff. That's a given. We all know we have too much stuff, and I'm finding it very difficult to get through it all. So I'm doing it a little piece at a time, but I really wanted this plan in my mind of how everything is going to look at the end of it, what stuff I want, how I'm going to look after it, where it's going to live, so that eventually I can get this house pared down to where everything is easy to find, easy to maintain, easy to use, and just as easy to put away as it is to get out. Because as much as I enjoy making these videos for you guys, I don't particularly love cleaning. It's not something that makes me happy. Well, okay, that's a lie. I don't like tidying. I love cleaning. I like to actually scrub and clean things. I hate tidying up. And tidying up is the biggest problem that I have at the moment, and that's what I want to tackle. If everything has a place, and if everything is happily maintained and fits properly in its space without being too overwhelming or too cluttered, then that is goals for me, because then I can just clean and just maintain the stuff that I have and will be happy. So as you can see, I am pulling a lot of random stuff out of this cupboard. This is our airing cupboard. We used to have a big immersion heater in here, so a great big tank, and they took that out a couple of years ago when they put in the new boiler for us. We have a combination boiler downstairs now. So they turned this cupboard into storage for us, which was really nice. We've got all these lovely shelves in here, all this nice space in here, and I've cluttered it up with stuff. So I've started off by taking out as much as possible, and I'm putting aside all the stuff that I want in the cupboard, and a separate pile for all the stuff that I don't want in the cupboard, and a whole other pile for stuff I don't even want that's just been stored in the cupboard for ease. And I'm putting these things into sections so that I can figure out a place in the cupboard for everything. I've got my shelves pretty much figured out how I want them, what I want to be on each one. I'm going to put them like that today, and then we're going to do a little trial of, I think I'm going to give it a month and see if it's working out. If it's not working out, I will tweak it, but we're just going to see how it goes for now. So one habit that I used to have in my younger years before life got on top of me was I used to put bedding into bundles, and I really want to try and do that again. I used to do it all the time. I don't know when or how or why I fell out of the habit, but I did, and I want to get back into it again because it was so much easier. So for the bundles, I am taking a sheet of the correct size, the duvet cover, one pillowcase, putting them into a pile, like folded together, and then I'm putting all of that pile together into the other pillowcase. So you're left with this bundle that has the sheet, the duvet, the pillowcases, the pillowcase protectors, the pillow protectors, all of that, anything you need to make your bed, I'm putting together in one big piece, so that when it comes to making the bed, changing the linen, it's simple and easy just to grab one bundle and know that you've got everything in there that you're going to need to make that bed. I don't know why I stopped doing this because I never had issues with it, but I did stop doing this and I want to get back to it. So I'm making bundles today. I have only a couple to make because I am changing this bed tomorrow. So I'm going to leave one set of bedding out. It's changed tomorrow, so I'm just going to pop this separately because I have a couple of other bits that need to go with it. But that will be going onto the bed tomorrow. The children at the moment I have pared down to one set of bedding each. I did this when I was going through my very minimal phase where I wanted just one of everything, and that was lovely for a little while, but it doesn't work out. If you have, let's say, a rainy day and you can't dry the bedding, or you don't want to be using the tumble dryer because it's really hot, then we couldn't get the bedding through the wash and dried and back on the bed in the same day. So that was a little bit of a mess up on my part. So I want to have 2 sets of beddings for each bed, so I can have one in the wash and one on the bed at the time. And then I want to have a certain shelf in the airing cupboard that I know all the bedding bundles will be on, ready to go, nice and easy when I come to make the beds. So bedding bundles are definitely something that's going to be happening on a weekly basis. I'll be putting them all back together into bundles as they come through the wash and straight into the cupboard. So as you can see, this is the empty cupboard, and I'm going to start popping all of the bedding up onto the top shelf. So on the top shelf I will have the bedding bundles, any spare pillows, and our kind of throw blankets that we put onto the beds or onto the sofas. I'm having a moment at the minute where I'm not having throws on the sofas. I go through phases of having throws on the sofas and having just bare sofas. Basically, when I put the throws on, they drive me mad because they move around where people sit and move on the sofas. And then I'll take them off the sofas for a month or so, and then I'll get fed up because the sofas are cold and they're getting messy, and I'll put them back on again. It's just this natural rhythm I have in my life. I will be looking at getting some new sofas hopefully soon. I like the sofas that we have, but I'm looking for something more fabric, more comfortable, and certainly for a sofa bed, so that I can have guests over, or I can sleep down there when my husband is having a particularly snory night. But that's a subject for another day. For now, the throws are in this cupboard. So I'm just going around the shelves that I can reach with my Dettol wipes. I think they're the Dettol wipes, the apple ones, and just giving them a little bit of a dust. I didn't bother with the top one because I did that only a couple of days ago when I originally decided I was going to do this cupboard. I started and I gave up because it was too overwhelming. So this is actually my second attempt at decluttering this cupboard, and I actually got through it today, which I'm really, really happy about. But yeah, I'm just going through and dusting these shelves. They were surprisingly dusty, considering it's just a cupboard. So I'm very glad that I went over these and got them done, ready for when I put everything away into them. So the next shelf down, I have decided that I'm going to use that shelf for all of the towels and the flannels. So bath towels, flannels, hand towels, everything is going to be going onto that shelf. I'm just doing the flannels there now, as you can see. Eventually I would like to find some kind of storage solution so that I can have the towels in the bathroom. I would like to put one of those hanging rails on the back of the door that hold the towels. You can roll the towels up in them and have the towels in there like that, because we always forget to grab one when we go in the bathroom, and we often have to shout through to each other to bring towels through. But for now they're going to go on that shelf. So I'm going through some of the bits now that are in the rest of the cupboard. So this is my sewing machine that my grandmother bought for me for my 30th birthday. I absolutely love it. I used to spend a lot of time doing projects on this sewing machine, and recently life has gotten on top of me. I've not done any kind of craft projects or sewing projects for a while now. So I just wanted to go through this box that has kind of half finished projects, bits and bobs inside of it, and get rid of some of the bits that I don't want anymore, so that I can just store the sewing machine ready for clothing repairs or whatever it is I'm going to do with it next. Certainly I'm keeping it because we do have to, in this family, most of us are quite short. So we quite often have to take trousers up. Certainly with school uniform, it needs to be altered a lot of the time when we buy it new. So I definitely want to keep hold of the sewing machine, but I do want to get rid of some of the projects that are just sitting around waiting for me to do them when clearly I'm not going to. So you saw earlier on me take some little snowman patches out of there. I found this gorgeous fabric that has snowmen on, and I thought I would really wanted to make like this really cute lap quilt for when I'm sitting doing my cross stitch in the evening with the snowmen on. And I was having such a good time doing it, and I just gave up. I'm not even sure why. I think I started working full time and it was just like, yep, don't have time for that anymore. So I haven't touched it for a good long while. So that is going to be going today. At this point in the video, I was still of a mind to keep it. But later on in the day, I decided, no, we're not holding on to stuff that we're not going to do anymore, Kerry. We need to sort our lives out. We need to declutter and we need to de-stress. So it did eventually end up in the bin. And all I have in that box now is the sewing machine and the accessories that go with it. This book is a Christmas book. I wanted some of the pictures out of it for one of my journals, but have since decided to pop it up in the loft with, I've got like a small tote box up there of things that I want to keep for grandchildren one day. Very small, very special things that I've kept from my children, and that Christmas storybook is going to be one of the things that's going into that box. So I'm just clearing out the rest of this box now. It's just random junk really. Most of it was for the rubbish that it just got thrown into that cupboard. I don't really know why. There's a couple of bits here that I'm going to be adding to the car boot sale stuff, but most of it is just for the bin. So I'm really quite glad that I went through all of that and got it sorted out. There's a couple of picture frames here that I need to work with. There's one that has a picture of the children when they were young going to visit Father Christmas, and there is another space, and I know I've got another picture of the children visiting Father Christmas that I want to put into that other gap in there. So I'm going to find that picture. It's somewhere in the photo albums downstairs, which I'm going through this week. So I can pop that in there, and then we can hang that up at Christmas and have that lovely memory of when the children were little and went to see Santa. That's the kind of thing I'm trying to preserve now, just the happy memories, the good times. I want those kinds of things represented in the house more than I want things that are just pretty these days. I want that lovely nostalgia. It makes me feel good. So I've gone through all of that now. Everything's popped to one side. Time to get back on my feet and start popping some stuff back into this cupboard again. So like I say, this is going to be where the sewing machine goes. It's also going to be where my memory box goes. I will be doing a video about that very, very soon. Excuse me. Which will be going over onto my Patreon channel. I'm putting together like a memory tote and a big scrapbook of all these lovely little memories and things, because I think most of us have a memory box somewhere, and it just gets full of stuff, and it's just a box that you very rarely look at, and I want mine to be this lovely special thing that I can go through. So I'm going to go through that with you guys over on Patreon. Like I say, I will let you know when that video goes up. Might be a couple of weeks yet, but I'm really looking forward to doing that. It's been a long time coming. So the shelf above the sewing machine, I'm currently just going to be using as an overstock shelf for all of the bathroom and toilet supplies. We don't have a huge amount of storage in the bathroom. We do not have barely any storage in the toilet. So all our overstocks, our extra toilet rolls, our extra sanitary supplies, body washes, shower gels, shampoos, etc. all end up in this cupboard here. So to have a designated shelf for them is definitely something that I've been looking forward to doing for a while. I will be giving it a measure up and getting some properly sized storage totes to go in here, boxes, baskets, whatever it may be, so I can have kind of categories, so I can just grab a basket out, go restock the thing that's run out, and then pop basket back in again, and that'd be great. So I've just finished a towel wash, and I'm popping the remainder of the towels onto that shelf that I wanted for towels and flannels, so that will all be done. Just having a bit of a readjust with the supplies. I was kind of hoping that these boxes would fit in perfectly together. They don't. One of them's slightly too big, but I can still shut the door and it will do for now. Sometimes when you're decluttering, you just have to make do. I had a vision in my mind of these videos that I would, you know, go through, declutter, clean, make it all beautiful with all the beautiful baskets and jars and all of that, and it would look like this beautiful Pinterest, Instagram worthy cupboard. But I realised that's my end goal, and you know, there's various steps you have to take before you get there, and for me, decluttering, just getting rid of the stuff, is step one. I can come back through and reorganise and make it beautiful at a later date, but for now I just need that calm in my mind. So on the floor of this cupboard, we had some old picture frames that I'd stored here with a hope that I would use them again one day. Needless to say, I didn't, and some of them have broken. As you can see, I've got some broken glass here. It did break very cleanly, which is quite nice, so I was able to pick it up without there being shards or little splinters of it going anywhere, but I did have to clean this up and give it a sweep. And the floor in this cupboard is not particularly beautiful. Like I say, there was an immersion heater in here before when we were first moved in, and has been for the last at least 25 years, I'd say. It was an old immersion heater, so it obviously has leaked at some point and done some damage to the plywood floor underneath. It's no problem, there's nothing currently leaking, it just doesn't look particularly pretty. I'll probably buy a rug or a piece of lino or something, yeah, random pipe just hanging out the wall. I guess they must have cut that when they did the bathroom reinstall and they just didn't pull it through. That was a nice surprise. But yeah, I'll get some lino or a rug or something and just cover this up. Like I say, it's not a problem, but it doesn't look particularly beautiful. So for now, this space is going to be for storing all of our paint pots and a few of our decorating supplies, rollers, trays, things like that. I do have a few decorating projects about to happen, the main one being the bedroom and the stairs and landing, which obviously I'll be recording for you guys as and when I do bits. So all the paint's just going to be stored in here for now until we use it up. After that, I'm not really sure what I'm going to put in the bottom there. So while I was doing the cupboard, I figured I would have a little look into the bathroom cabinet. As you can see, it's very chaotic. It's just full of stuff. It is stuff that we use. There's nothing in here that we don't use, but it's just chaotic. There's no particular kind of storage in here. There's old razor heads that haven't been thrown away, that kind of thing. And while I was doing the linen cupboard, I thought, I'm going to go through this because any extra bits that we've got in here can now go into that cupboard, and I can get a little bit more organisation done in here. So as I usually do, I took everything out, I went through it, decluttered, threw some stuff away, popped the excess stuff into the linen cupboard and put this back together in a more user-friendly way. Like I say, this is going to be a time will tell. Yes, I want to come back and make it pretty at a later date, but for now this will do. And hopefully it'll work a little bit better for us. It has done so far. I did this maybe half a week before I'm doing this voiceover, so a good few days ago, and so far it hasn't gone back to chaos, and hopefully it won't. So yep, just clearing it all out, making sure we've only got really one of everything open at the same time, popping overstocks away. The only thing I was a little bit confused about is we somehow have 5 tubes of toothpaste open simultaneously. We somehow have like 3 or 4 bottles of mouthwash open simultaneously, so I couldn't really put the extra ones away because they were all extra but all current at the same time. Really annoying. This is the main reason though why I want to keep the overstock separate, because it saves all these things from being open at the same time. I'm really hoping it's not just my family that does this and we have like 20 toothpastes all going at the same time. But yeah, it felt really, really good to get this done. These are projects that I have been putting off for a while because they've been very, very overwhelming to me. I'm not, nor have I ever been, a fan of decluttering. I hate it. It's one of my most hated jobs, but it needs to be done, and it needs to be done a lot more frequently than I have been doing it. So definitely there will be more videos like this in the future, hopefully with prettier baskets and jars and all that good stuff to help motivate you guys as well to get your decluttering done. But my end goal is strong. I want everything in its place, everything looking pretty, everything calm, and everything easy to find. Those are my goals. It will also make my house quicker and easier to clean and to tidy up. It's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I'm going to finish this video after I finish this cupboard today, guys. I'm just going to pop everything back in a more user-friendly fashion. I was definitely done with this by this point, so it just got kind of plopped in, but in a way that made more logical sense. I really hope you've enjoyed the video today, guys. I will see you in my next one very, very soon. Bye bye.